Good morning, all. Depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, I have got some exceptionally exciting news because the next Pokemon games have been announced and revealed. We have information, and it is, of course, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Now, these rumours have been floating around for a couple of weeks now, but I have a daughter that is a couple of weeks old, so we've not been covering them on this channel. But now the information's out, I'm here to show you everything you need to know. You may have watched the trailer already. I'll pop a link in the description if you haven't, or if you just want to watch it again because it's brilliant. But this is the analysis. This is where you get all the information, all the news, everything you need to know, things you may have missed from the trailer, things that you might not even have thought about, but, you know, I am somewhat Pokemon obsessed. So the release date is going to be November the 18th, 2018, and there's going to be two versions, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. If you choose Let's Go Pikachu, then you start with a Pikachu that rides around on your shoulder, and if you go Eevee, you get an Eevee that runs around on your head for some reason. Little bit strange there. And they are both releasing, like I said, on November the 18th of this year. That is 6 months away, ladies and gentlemen. Start getting excited. Now, the first thing that I need to say right at the beginning here, this is not a core Pokemon game. This is not the sequel to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Now, this is very important because it means if you're competing in Pokemon tournaments all the way up to the World Championships, you are not going to be using these games to compete. These are not World Championship games, regional games, internationals games. These are sit at home and play with your family kind of games. They are not core games. And although this hasn't, I don't believe, been 100% confirmed, these are not the games we're going to be playing with in tournaments. They are not core games. The great news for you, lovely ladies and gentlemen, is that there is a new core game coming in the latter half of next year. So, essentially, expect it about a year after this comes out. So, if you do want a new game, purely to be playing competitively, this is not the game for you, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. You need to be sticking to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. This does, of course, mean that if you want to play the game competitively, you don't need a Nintendo Switch yet. We're still on Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. We're still playing competitively on the 3DS. It's going to be quite an investment for some players that just want to play competitively to go and buy a Switch just to enter these tournaments. For the time being, they don't have to. Now, the game is set in the Kanto region, the original region, and of course, there has been quite a bit of, I suppose, pushback about this. There have been a few people that have just been like, no, we don't need Kanto. Nah, Kanto's been done. We're bored of Kanto. Don't need any more Kanto, thank you very much. Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're going for, so it's happening. I mean, Kanto is what we all remember from our childhood, if you're an older Pokemon fan like myself, and it's where the original 151 reside. As a side note, has been confirmed that it will feature the original 151 Pokemon. Weirdly, it does also include their Alolan forms, but the Alolan forms aren't in Kanto, they're in Alola. So, I mean, clearly this is for Pokemon Go. The Alolan forms are now in Pokemon Go. So, of course, we're going to be getting the Alolan forms in this, because this is a game which exists alongside Pokemon Go to really try and get casual players back into the Pokemon franchise as a whole. I know some people think the Kanto region is a bit played out and we've seen it too many times. If you do, that's okay. This is not the next game in the core series. It's not the one we're going to be using competitively. I, for one, am going to rush out and buy it on November the 18th. You don't have to if you don't want to, but if you're trying to bring back old lapsed Pokemon fans like Pokemon Go did for a short while, you need to go back to Kanto with the original 151. Now, I have mentioned that Eevee rides on your head and Pikachu rides on your shoulder, but you can also have some secondary Pokemon following you around, like we saw in Heart Gold, Soul Silver. And you can even ride some of the larger ones. So you can see here that there is a Gengar and an Electrode running around after the players in this particular screenshot. And here's a picture of you riding an Onix. Now, in the trailer it was confirmed that you can ride Lapras and Charizard, but you can ride them in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. That's not exciting. You can't ride an Onix, ladies and gentlemen. And actually, while we're here, worth pointing out that the graphics are a fair bit better than they were in things like Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Now, one of the most exciting things for me about this, there is going to be a Pokeball Plus released. Now, they haven't given us a release date, but if it's not actually day and date with the games, I would be absolutely stunned, because I'm going to get the game on release, and if I can get a Pokeball Plus, I will buy one on release date. If I can't, then by the time it comes out, I'll have already completed the games. So it's going to be releasing on November the 18th. Not official. I would be stunned if it didn't. Although the counter-argument here is, release it a couple months later to bring players back in who may have got on board or skipped it the first time round. It is fully functional as a Joy-Con controller. So firstly, it's not going to be cheap, and secondly, any game that you can control with a single Joy-Con, you can now control with a Pokeball, which is brilliant. It also works as a fully functional Pokemon Go Plus, so it won't be cheap. And we do know that you can use this to take Pokemon with you out and about into the real world, though we have no idea what this actually means. We will have to wait and see. No word on pricing, but it's not going to be cheap. No word on release date, but again, if it's not day and date, I'll be stunned. Of course, this does mean that on release day, I'll probably get one of the games and the Pokeball Plus, rather than getting both of the games. Although if it's released 2 months later, I'll buy both the games on release, and then I'll buy this later. So actually, maybe they will delay it for nerds like me. Now, there is a lot of functionality here with Pokemon Go. Of course there is. This is trying to get casual fans in who played Pokemon Go and got bored, or still play Pokemon Go but don't play the regular games. You can transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Go to this game, but not back. If it's a shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Go, then it will be shiny when you transfer it into this game. And actually, transferring from Pokemon Go will let you meet a special Pokemon in Pokemon Go, and you can get gifts, etc. Although again, there's no real news as to how exactly this works, just confirmation that in some way or another it does. Now, the question for me, and I don't have an answer to this, can you transfer from this game into the main series games, i.e. the game that's coming out next year? I would probably go towards no, but if you could, then you can catch in Pokemon Go, pop it into Let's Go Pikachu, and then pop it into the main game, meaning you can catch in Pokemon Go and transfer it all the way up. I would be surprised if you could do this, and there's no word on whether you can or not. So I suppose hold tight, and I'll be bringing you all the news right up until the release of this game on this channel. Anything you need to know, I will be bringing you. And we're going to talk about IVs and EVs in a moment, but they're probably not going to be present in this game in the same way they are in the core games. I mean, one of the reasons we know of that is they're not really present in the same way in Pokemon Go, and you can transfer from Pokemon Go to this game. So it would be super awkward to have IVs and EVs working like in a main game if you're grabbing Pokemon from Pokemon Go. There's also no word on whether this actually works with Pokemon Bank, but again, I'm guessing no, because it looks like it's going to be too awkward. Maybe you can transfer to and from Pokemon Bank. Maybe you can transfer to and from the main games when they come out. I, for one, am guessing you're not going to be able to. Now, there's also confirmation of drop-in, drop-out co-op. You can play the entire game with one Joy-Con, so of course 2 Joy-Con on a Nintendo Switch. Then you can actually just sit there on the couch with your kids, with your partner, whatever, and sit and play 2-player. We know that it's going to be more of a support role. We know that in a battle it becomes 2-on-1, which does make me question the difficulty of this game, especially when playing 2-player. And in the wild, you both try and catch at the same time. And presumably, although not confirmed, you're both going to be just using the stash of the main player's Pokeballs. So look for them to run out pretty quickly. And again, it looks like in the 2-on-1 battles, you're using the main player's Pokemon. It does seem like a very casual drop-in, have a bit of a play around, borrow their Pokemon, throw their Pokeballs, drop out when you feel like it. Very much a support role where you're really just running around in the world. But I've got a 5-year-old niece who loves playing Sun and Moon with me, but she doesn't really understand how the game works. I guarantee when this comes out, I'm going to bring her around, she's going to sit on the sofa with me, we're going to run around and catch Pokemon and battle together, and she is going to be absolutely delighted. If you've got kids of like 5-ish who aren't really old enough to play a 3DS game, they are going to love this game more than anything. One of the really cool things about this is that Pokemon encounters are no longer random. You don't run through tall grass and a Pokemon jumps out. If you look at the screenshot that's on the screen at the moment, you can see that there's a Paras there, and there's a Geodude, and there's a couple of others, and you can actually avoid them, or you can choose which ones you actually go and battle. This sounds amazing, and also does show a big leap in the graphics that you've got these 3D models of Pokemon just running around on the screen. In terms of catching, we know you're going to catch with motion control, or if you've got it, Pokeball Plus. But it's weird that we've not been given any details as to how they are going to be caught in handheld mode. If you're playing in the handheld mode, how are you going to catch these? Because we don't actually know at the moment. And I am a man who tends to play in handheld mode, although the Pokeball Plus might convince me otherwise when it comes out, because, you know, that looks amazing. So we do need to know about this. Obviously, it's there to coincide with Pokemon Go. Players that play Pokemon Go are used to motion control, so that's what we give them in this game. But it is strange to me that they haven't said anything about handheld mode. Then again, Pokemon probably want to push this as a, hey, it works with Pokemon Go and you use motion controls kind of game, not a sit on a train and ignore people while playing it kind of game. In terms of battles, it's nice and easy. You pick from 4 moves. Battles are the same as they've been in every Pokemon game so far. But what about IVs and EVs? Now, a couple of the quotes from the conference, we wanted to make it more simplified. Please wait for more details. Remember, I made a big point of this at the beginning. This is the core series. It's not the one you're going to be taking to competitions. So, given that they've said that, and given that you're going to be able to take Pokemon from Pokemon Go, I'm going to assume that IVs and EVs are either going to be missing or are going to be in a simplified form like they are in Pokemon Go. I could be wrong. We have no news on this yet, and presumably this will be announced. But again, this is a game which is really being focused at new and lapsed players. It's supposed to be easy and accessible. Why would they talk about IVs and EVs in the introductory press conference? For newer players, IVs are like the DNA of a Pokemon, which shows you how strong it could get, and EVs allow you to train a Pokemon to have better attack, better defense, etc. It's how you take a random Pokemon and make it into a really specific Pokemon to fit your team to go into a Pokemon battle. Why are there going to be 2 versions? Well, firstly, there's always 2 versions, but Masuda did say, yes, of course we have trading in the game. It's one of the reasons we always have 2 versions. So expect the fact that you can trade, expect the fact that there are going to be specific Pokemon that can only be caught in Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee. So, you know, before you pre-order which one, wait for the inevitable list of specific Pokemon so you can decide. Because if Snorlax or Porygon are only in one game or the other, and they won't be their special Pokemon that come around at specific times, but if you can only get one of them in one game or the other, there's absolutely no way I'm not choosing the game where you can get them. Because they're my boys. And for anyone wondering, the official top 3 Pokemon in the initial games, in the original 151, is Porygon 1, Snorlax 2, Golem 3. And possibly the most exciting bit of news that we have no information on at all, there's going to be an all-new Pokemon! There's a new Pokemon coming in these games. That's it. That's all we know. We have no idea about it, how to get it, what it is, etc. Don't worry about it in terms of competitive games, because it's probably going to be a legendary or a mythical, so it won't be legal for competitive play anyway. Although maybe it's going to be a new evolution. People have been asking for a new evolution for a while. There's plenty of types that haven't been done yet. Maybe. Although if they did introduce a new Pokemon that you could use in competitions in a game that didn't have IVs and EVs in the same way, that would be super awkward. They'd probably have to ban it in competitions. I'm excited, but we have no details. These are games that are designed to get people back into the game, buy some trading cards, go back playing Pokemon Go, and crucially, get excited for the main game coming next year. But I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited and you should be too. Tell me your thoughts about this game down in the comment section. Ask any questions you've got. If I can answer them, I will. And do make sure you keep checking back for more information about Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Anything you need to know, I will bring you as we go along. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel so you can get the information as it comes, and follow me on Twitter at TheWossy and Twitch at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to see me live streaming these games when they come out, let me know, we can do it. And if you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and help me on my quest to get both versions and a really expensive accessory, then head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do just that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.